And welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is my next project. As you can see, it is an older tank, and we're not going to be putting water in it right away because somewhere, I don't know where, but somewhere there's a little leak. If you've been with the channel for a little while, you saw when I did Francis and the goldfish, their revamp of that 55-gallon tank. This is the tank that I had them in while I was redoing it that day, and they were in this for about 10 hours, and I think it leaked maybe 4 or 5 ounces. So it's not a big leak, but I've got to get to scraping the old silicone off and resealing it, making sure it's good, and then I will do a water test before we do anything else. I'm not going to bring you guys along for that, but I thought I would, show you this is where we're starting at. If it's something you guys are interested in, there are plenty of other channels that are much better at describing that. Serpa Design makes a lot of tanks himself, custom designs, all that kind of stuff, and he's really good at explaining how you do it. I'm not so good at that. If you want me to try giving that a go, I'll be more than happy to. But for right now, for this one, I'm just gonna do it, make sure it works, and then we'll go from there. And then of course, the tank is dirty. You can see the dirt on the glass and stuff. I'm gonna get that all cleaned up as well, so it looks nice and neat. But we've got a cool little light for this tank that I've never used before. Obviously the channel is really small, so I will have the benefit of being able to put the light on there and telling you exactly what I think about it. So that'll be cool. And we're going to be trying to do something completely different than all the other planted tanks that I have, or Francis's tank. So without any more time wasting, I will see you back here, hopefully, with a tank that holds water. And if you're seeing this, that means it probably worked. Well, I think I said in that last section that if you saw this video, that means everything worked, and that we were going to be moving forward with the video and you'd see what I was doing. Yeah, so about that. So one of the things I try and do with the channel is, if something happens that doesn't work out, or I lose a fish, or the plants aren't growing right, or I get an algae problem, or whatever the case is, I try and bring you along for it, because that's part of all of this. So what's going on here, as you can see, there's gonna be some rocks involved with this scape here. They're all just kind of piled in there right now. That's not what it's going to look like. You're just going to have to, hit that subscribe, follow button, whatever it is. Because this tank is not going to be ready to go. And you might be asking yourself why that is. Well, I did the resealing on this, and somewhere here on this side, and it is this corner in particular, there is a little bit that leaks out of that corner, but it's like enough that you can notice it's wet after 3 hours of a water test. But that was it. This corner, again, not much, but it was like half an ounce of water. And we can't have our glass box leaking any water. So it's not going to be ready for what I was planning on doing with it and having it out for you here this weekend. So I'm just doing this, bringing you along to show you that not everything works the way you plan it, and you just kind of have to take it as it is. Don't give up on the stuff. Try again. It's like the rest of the fish tanks. You get your fish tank going, and then you have an algae problem. Sometimes the algae gets too bad where you just kind of have to start over, and it happens to everybody at some point in time. with your fish keeping. It's going to happen to everybody. But other times you just, maybe it's changing the amount of light that the tank's getting. Maybe you need to do a bigger water change to take some of the excess nutrients out of the water. Maybe you're feeding the fish too much. There's something going on, and there are ways to work with it and fix it and get your tank balanced. This isn't about balancing a tank, it's about keeping the water inside the box instead of outside the box. And I'm not entirely sure where the little leaks are, but I'm going to be working on that. And I thought I would take this chance here on the channel to show you that it doesn't always work the first try, and you just have to keep at it. So you just keep at it, and keep trying. And to steal a line from Galaxy Quest, never give up, never surrender. I hope some of you get that. If not, that's okay. But the basic idea for this tank, once it does hold water, is that there's going to be rocks in here. Not exactly like this, because that's just kind of piled in there. And then a sand base. There's going to be a filter in here, but I'm also trying probably the fanciest light that I now own. It is a, is it Lumini? Does somebody know how to say that? Because I don't. But it's LED freshwater. It's pretty cool. I've had it out and tested it already, so I know it works. But it's going to be... Oop, I don't know why we didn't focus there for a second. It's got a remote control, and I believe I can do Wi-Fi on it. I should probably read the instructions, but I just plugged it in and started pushing buttons. Because that's what we all do, right? So I will be trying to reseal again here, and it's going to take a while for that to set. So instead of delaying the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working on that, keep doing water testing until it actually holds water the way it's supposed to. Like I said, it's just this end. This end is absolutely fine, which is funny because I scraped off more stuff out of this other end than I did this end. So maybe there's a piece that I missed that's from the older stuff that was in there. I don't really know. Didn't work, but it's okay because we're gonna fix it and we're gonna get it to work, and then we're gonna put a cool tank together, or at least I hope it's a cool tank. So like I said, it's not always going to work on your first try. So when you're setting up a tank, if you don't like how the hardscape looks when you're putting it in, don't be afraid to stop, take it out, and start over. If you have some plants that you put in there and they don't seem to be working for you, I know plants are expensive. Feel free to move them around, try them again, change the lighting. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do to try and improve it. So it's a learning process. We're all learning. Don't be afraid of that. So I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of editing on this one because I've just been kind of rambling and showing you the rocks here. But if you want to see if I can actually get this going again, make sure you hit that subscribe, follow button below. And anybody that's got the, if you got the little coloring book, I'll put a link below again in the description. If you got that, I really appreciate you because it's supporting the channel. And I know some of you have. So feel free to reach out to me if you guys got it, and we'll see about maybe putting something together that's like pictures that you all have colored in, and we'll do some sort of like video montage of that or something, maybe. And just don't give up. That's kind of the moral of today's project. don't give up. It might not work for you the first time, might not work for you the second time, but if it's something you're passionate about, don't give up on it. And with that, we'll see you on the next one.